my God. I'm shaking like a leaf inside. Shaking inside. My gut. Everywhere. I'm shaking inside. I feel like I'm gonna drop dead. I feel so sick. My gut is shaking inside like a leaf. My whole nervous system is shaking inside like a leaf. Severe brain fog. My vision is blurry. My sinuses. Last night, I didn't fall asleep until 9 o'clock in the morning. Too scared to go to bed. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyways, I put the CPAP on last night, which I stopped the CPAP more than a month ago. And I really, really felt that I needed to put the CPAP on to assist with breathing. And then I realized I forgot the oximeter, the overnight oximeter. But I just was too tired to get up. My brain literally isn't working. My brain literally can't work here. I'm just testing my oxygen right now with this. This is not the overnight oximeter. I literally just feel like I'm gonna drop dead. Um, CPAP and the maxillary sinus surgery, surgery that caused so much damage. CPAP, people don't talk about this. A medical treatment can be helping you. A medical treatment can be helping you a lot or keeping you alive, and also at the same time harming you really bad. And I wish I could. I used to be able to put photographs on my videos. YouTube won't let me do that yet until I have so many followers. But I have a photo of the first day I'm wearing CPAP, and I'm so ill. I'm so ill, and when this picture was taken, I was at the point where I was sleeping only 1 or 2 hours a night for a year already. But you can tell in this, like, I was so ill with severe sleep deprivation, but I was still healthy. My body was still healthy. And you can see that in this photo. And I mean, my life was gone already. But in this photo, I looked so healthy. And I always look like I have a smirk on my face, but my hair, just tons of hair, brown, tanned skin, and I wasn't in the sun, but I look super healthy. And that was the first day of CPAP, critically sleep deprived. 1 year later, still sleeping only 1 or 2 hours a night and no napping. 1 year later of wearing CPAP, I look like death. Like 3/4 of my hair fell out. My skin color changed. And I look shocked and ill, like my eyes look ill. And I look like death. I think I look like death in the second photo. 365 days apart. 365 days of wearing CPAP. And CPAP harms me so badly. And I've never understood why. And I still don't fully understand. It hurts. It seriously makes me ill because of the sinuses. And it does something to my nervous system. Like like a few days ago, I put the CPAP on and I woke up and I'm shaking like a leaf. It does something, or and man, it screws my head up. And I think that might be sinus related too. Like I feel like I've been punched in the head. I feel so out of it. And at that time, had I not worn CPAP for that year, like I would have been dead. CPAP was literally saving my life, keeping me breathing at night. And it took me a couple years to understand that. It wasn't just stopping the sleep apnea. It was literally keeping me alive and keeping me breathing. Absolute torture, absolute human physical torture. And I only slept for 1 or 2 hours a night that for a couple years, with the first few years, 4.5 years. But I don't know. I don't know what is causing the severe insomnia. If it's the sinus damage, that this just occurred to me. I don't know if it's the sinus damage, or the Chiari, or the inability to breathe. I feel so out of it right now. So yeah, medical treatment can be helping you and literally torturing you, literally, physically, and mentally torturing you. Mostly, like, well, no, I was going to say mostly physical, but what this so puts me out of my, like I'm so ill. Like it severely affects my head as well. I wonder, what can CPAP do to your nervous system? How can CPAP adversely affect your nervous system? But also, how, like, the impact of CPAP on these severely damaged sinuses, how that's adversely harming me. Like when I'm asleep, CPAP is doing something good for me, but it's also harming my face. Like, I wore the oral mouthpiece last night and put the CPAP on top. What I noticed, and this is a brand new CPAP mask, and I've had this model before, and it's the most comfortable. What I noticed was it was pulling my jaw back and pulling my jaw back and opening my mouth a bit, like the pressure on my face. And if I loosened it at all, then the air was leaking, right? If you had a child at home, let's say a child at home with Chiari, let's say an autistic child, a non-speaking child, or somebody mentally deficient that you were the caretaker of, you were the mother of a patient or a young adult or a child, and you had to force them to wear CPAP, and you saw them getting sicker a year later, 2 years later, you saw them decline and get sicker and sicker. You would never know, you would never be able to understand how, like if they were in the same situation as me, you'd never be able to determine how CPAP was harming them or how CPAP was pulling their jaw back and making their airway smaller. Like without that mouthpiece, without that, this thing that I made, this oral mouthpiece that advances my jaw a little bit forward. Without that in my mouth, when the CPAP on top, CPAP is 100% intolerable. But wearing the CPAP last night made me realize this is so right for me. This is moving my jaw forward and helping me breathe. So this and the CPAP would be perfect for me if my sinuses weren't hacked open and being harmed by CPAP. You know what I determined last night? What I realized, a trach really would bypass all the torture of CPAP. Isn't that crazy?